Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tribal Trades. Wherever you are tuning in from around the world, welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please smash the like, comment, ask some questions. I look to get back to every comment and question there as soon as possible. And if you haven't yet joined our ever-growing community, we'd love to, then please hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification. You'll be notified when we have a video going live to you. Okay, so we're going to do a Bitcoin update. I'm going to talk a little bit about Ondo, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Avalanche. Now, Bitcoin has just closed a weekly close, and it is below the 50 moving average on the, there it is. It has closed below that. So we've got to close below that. In fact, it's still heading down here. Not only with that, as we've closed below, you can see here, I'm going to zoom in, but we closed below this low here as well, which was the previous low of the week. So we haven't really started off, the low of the week there. We've set a nice new low here. It does look like we're heading towards 62. I would be very surprised if we didn't come down and retest 62 and come into this area 61, 60,000 here. We certainly did it over here, and there was a deviation outside of, so we are outside of this wedge here, and that's totally fine. I have said numerous times that this was a probability that if we close below the 50-day moving average, we would come back up. If we were rejected, then that would probably leave us going down further, and that's exactly what has happened. I will say one of the reasons why is because this hash ribbons indicator here has flashed, and that's a minor capitulation signal. Now, it's only happened 19 times in the history of Bitcoin, and it's usually marked a local bottom. And then the buy signal, and we'll switch to the weekly here. So this is a great, if you haven't added to this chart, just go to indicators and search for the hash ribbons indicator. You can put that on your chart. There it is there. You just put it on your chart. Keep an eye, because as soon as that flashes blue, that's go time, okay? And you can see what has happened in the past when we have gone, when we have had this, let's switch to the monthly, see if we can get, there we go. When we have ever had a green capitulation signal, here it is here. So the miners capitulated all the way, and then we get the blue buy signal, and look what happened there. We just took off and we didn't come back. And there was only one since August 2022. And then if you look at the previous one here, we had a capitulation here, and then we got the buy signal here, and then we took off, and obviously we did come down again here. And so we have a capitulation signal and a buy signal. The buy signal, off we went to the races. And so we're looking for that blue buy signal. Historically, it's been an average of about 45 days after. So that could lead us, the 45 days actually, funnily enough, it does actually take us through to around about here at the end of our wedge here in late July, early August. So this will be interesting if we can come back into the wedge here, and we'll just keep a track on that. And hash ribbons, really important. Keep an eye on this minor capitulation signal. That doesn't mean we found a bottom. Usually it's the buy signal that there's the bottom is in, and that will be, and I think it's just a psychological thing. Everybody will say it. It'll be all over Twitter. All the people on YouTube like myself will be saying it, and everybody will just jump in and buy, and then it should look to take off. So we're really looking for that blue buy signal, and the miners right now, we've got the capitulation signal right there. Also, when you think of it, is Bitcoin waiting for the presidential election? And I don't want to wait this long. I hope not. But if you actually go back to 2020, we didn't really actually take off until the election in November 2020, if you can see here, and then off we took off. So there's some interesting timelines there. Certainly I hope we don't have to wait that long and go sideways and crab. But I do think, as you can see, we got a blue buy signal, which didn't really actually work out. This might be one of the times that it failed. It's only failed 3 times in Bitcoin's history. So this looks like it might be one of those. Not that it actually, to be honest, it flashed. It didn't really go down. It sort of went sideways, and then it got another one and took off. This one here as well, again, we got a blue buy signal, then we got a minor capitulation, but again, we kind of just went sideways, and this one here, sideways and a little bit down. So I'm not sure if those are counted as, but we didn't really have a major dip after the blue buy signal, I think is what I'm trying to say there. So, very, very interesting. We also have something called the MVRVZ score, and I want to take you to that over here. And you can get there by looking to bitcoin.com, and you can look it up on there. It's a free indicator that I think is quite interesting. And what it actually does is it actually explains it here. So I'm not going to go into it just for the sake of time, but you can read into the market value and the realized value. And it's not very often that you see this black line go under the blue line here. And when the black line goes under the blue line, you can see that this generally is a pretty good time to buy. And that last time that happened was back in January 2023, which was the Bitcoin bottom. And then again, you can see it was we had a bottom here before we took off in the last bull run and so on. So it has this area, when it comes into this green here, this has been the bear market bottom. And then when we come into the red, this has marked the bull market top. And in these occasions it has. And this one, it marked when it hit to 65. But we kind of had that double top where we came down and then Bitcoin came back up. And we didn't come down all the way. And then we came back up and hit 69,000. And then it capitulated down here. And this would have been the opportunity to buy. So you can see here that if we actually track what we did last time, where we came down, we have this little thing here, then we come down, then we come up, and then we come down, and then we take off. So we go up, and then we come down. Are we going to take off here is the question. I think Bitcoin looks pretty good. I would say that this is probably about right. And I think coming down at some point, I don't expect us to go back in the green. Look, it could happen. You saw this one come back into the green here before taking off, but this was the COVID crash here. So I'm not expecting that to come in unless we get some kind of black swan event. And then up here is where you could expect to sell. So this is quite a good indicator. If you haven't seen it before, please check it out. And then I want to look at a tweet put out by Thomas. So we've got who needs to see this. We can see here in 2016, and then it took off in 2020, took off, and now the same thing here. Are we going to take off again? I'm long-term bullish, short-term bearish. I certainly feel that there could be some more downside, and that's why I have my cheat sheet. I am going to do an update on the cheat sheet. If you haven't seen my cheat sheet, please check out my video from about 7 days ago, and that has all the coins and the entries and the take profits. And okay, let's have a look, a little bit of a look at Ondo here, because Ondo had a little bit of a bearish close. And I know many of you watching this channel, especially those from the Stocks with Josh squad, I want to give a shout out to all of you. I chat with you in the Discord. What an amazing group of people. Just incredible community. If you haven't signed up for the Discord, the Stocks with Josh, go with stockswithjosh.com. It's a link in the description below. It's a Discord channel, absolutely amazing, easy. So come join in there. I'd love to meet you in there. Okay, so what we have here is it is really struggling with this 50-day moving average. And right now, as you can see, we're under it. And we actually closed under it here. And if we're going to see multiple closes here, then I would expect us to come back and retest back here around about the dollar region here. There's a liquidity here in this wick. I would expect us to come down and fill that liquidity and come down to the dollar. And we could even come all the way down to around the 90-cent region as well. You see another wick there, liquidity there. There's a lot of support, a lot of volume here. You can see the volume bar. And so I could see it coming down to 91. And then really, if we get down there, 75. So those are my levels. I certainly picked up some here at $1.10, dollar cost averaging. I am hoping that it pops back above and continues bullish. That would be great. But if not, certainly we are going to see some downside, I believe, down to $1.91 and then 75 cents. Those, if you're looking to accumulate Ondo, those would be the positions that I would look to do so. And then there was some news about Avalanche. There was a bit of a hack that went, and Avalanche took a bit of a hit, but Bitcoin Turk assures users funds secure despite hot wallet breach. You can go to the Avalanche chart here, AVAX chart, and just see, I always see this, that if you love Avalanche and you want Avalanche, it can be a buy the dip opportunity. Certainly here would be looking that you can see that we've hit and found support on this wick here. There's some liquidity here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we come down to the $22 to $20 region here. And I think the $20 to $22 would be an area to have a bid, to have a buy order, but this is definitely a very ugly looking chart at the moment, but we hopefully would find support. Otherwise, further down here, we've got $17 to $15 down here for Avalanche. All right, I think that's it for today, and certainly we're certainly looking. Actually, I'm going to jump back to Bitcoin because I've got one more thing here, that there is some liquidity above. So, I did expect this to be grabbed first, and it hasn't. So that's okay. But there is some liquidity. So there's a lot of 50x traders that will get liquidated who went 50x leverage at 64,875. At 64,875, which is still below the 50-day moving average. And then there's a lot of 25x leverage traders that would get liquidated at about 66,150, which is still below the 50-day moving average. So I do expect a retest. So, yeah, I do expect a retest. Are we going to come down here and come back and retest? We already had a retest, but we could get another retest, and on the retest, we could actually break through. So just see what happens over the next coming days. Again, I'm filming this on Sunday after the close, so there could have been some action already in the markets as of Monday morning. So we'll see what happens. This will be being posted Monday. So, but I wanted to get this out there because I think this is some important information. We don't want to be panic selling. I remain bullish long-term, short-term bearish while we're under the 50-day moving average. And certainly I do believe that once we reclaim that 50-day moving average, I think that might be the time that we start to take off and we don't come back. So let's see how long we stay below it, and let's see how low we get, and I'll continue to update you in the charts. And until the next episode, happy trading.